So if you were just a shadow, who would you want to be your face?
Someone very beautiful.
Any ideas?
Um.
Like Jennifer Lawrence?
No. Oh my God. Wait, that's kind of a hard question. I don't know. I can't think of. My brain's going blank. Rose from Blackpink.
I would go with John Malkovich.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
No, not by
I was joking.
long shot. Because today on Weeb and a Half, we are talking about
Shadow's house.
All right, let's go.
Hey, we got a tale to tell where two hearts collide. In this Emmy spell, father and daughter sharing dreams in the world of Venga. Nothing's as it seems. We've had a half in this journey, side by side, laughs and adventures we won't hide. Join the ride in this anime tonight. We've got a half shining bright.
Watch anything new?
No, but what is this?
Oh yeah, I gotta do that. Welcome to Weeb and a Half, a podcast where dad and daughter bond over anime, argue about everything from plot twists to favorite characters, and prove that watching anime together is actually the best kind of family time.
Almost, you could say it's like a union ritual or unification ritual.
Like I know what that is.
Well, we're talking about Shadow's house, and isn't that when they become one?
Yeah, I guess I don't remember what it was called.
Well, now you do.
Yeah.
Have you watched anything new?
More One Piece, and I read some Hanako.
I've been reading Undead Unluck, which it's a fun one. And once I get through them, I'm probably going to go over it on the podcast because I think it's good enough to do it. And outside of that, I've just been watching this show so I could get caught up on it so I know what's going on.
Yep. Kind of out there.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it definitely took me half a season to get into it somewhat because the first 6 episodes were just trying to get through them.
I know we went to the library and you're like, I just don't like it. So angry. It's like, you couldn't leave then. They'll kick you out.
Yeah. I mean, you suggested, and it's like, I know we're not all going to like the same ones. And even with it, it's like, it got okay. I'm not going to lie. It, I was like, oh, I'm kind of invested into it by the end of the second season, which those came out in
2022.
Yeah, they ended in 2022, so I doubt there's probably going to be a third season anytime soon.
Yeah, I have to get the books, I guess.
I was about to say, is there manga for it?
Yeah. It's not almost manga for everything.
Well, almost, but then again, I know there's some that, they had shows before, so I mean, and then the manga just kind of follows the show, so I don't know. Yeah, so tell me about it.
So basically there's this big mansion, I guess you could call it, and it's pretty big. And there's these things, they're called Shadow Masters, what they're referred to as, right? And their skin is completely pitch black. They have no facial features, nothing at all. They're just pitch black. And so they wear clothes, obviously. But so they have these things called dolls. Practically just they look like humans. They look just like us. But they serve as the face because, the shadows are pitch black. And the dolls have, faces. But when, the shadows, angry, I guess it's when they just have really strong emotions. They kind of, emit soot. And so the dolls have to, clean it all up all the time.
Yeah, and some of them have the ability to
control
they have soot powers.
Yeah, like how Kate controlled the little stuffed animal that was full of soot.
Mm-hmm. But older when it's a couple of years old. But it was the thing that I really liked about it though is the anime. I mean, the animation and the colors. They did it very much like when their suits like they have the pattern on their suit or whatever, and they're moving, but the pattern itself doesn't actually move.
Well, the part when Edward was playing the piano, the 3D animated hands were killing me. Spider fingers.
It's like I know I've seen other shows that have that style, but it was pretty good. I mean,
I feel like Madoka Magica might be like one of those. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
But yeah, so the two main characters in it, I guess, would be Kate and Emilico.
Yep.
They're kids, and they have, like, what was, like, it was like the Hunger Games type thing, but they called it something.
Oh my god, debut?
The debut.
Yeah, the big debut.
And, like, they have to work together and actually...
Well, really, all the shadows can do is kind of sit there.
Yeah, but their human doll or living doll has to save them and then make it through in a certain amount of time, and then they pass the debut, and if they don't, the shadow...
Like, kind of, like, cripples.
Well, surely she just kind of dissolved into soot.
Yeah, she kind of crippled down, just like...
Oh, crumbled?
She, like...
She kind of crippled?
That's what I meant to say. She, like, crumpled down and just kind of, like, fell apart.
Mm-hmm. And then some of the other characters, there's Louise and Lou.
And Patrick and Ricky and John and Sean. Rosemary, Mary Rose.
Yeah, and so all of their names are similar, except...
Kate, Emilico, Ricky, and Patrick.
Patrick and Rick. That's kind of where they get that from.
With the Y, I couldn't tell, because, like, you know, Ricky.
And that was the thing, because Kate chose Emilico because she wanted her to be her own person.
Mm-hmm. It was also, like, one of her favorite characters. No, in the book, it was a girl called, like, Emily or something that she was reading, right? And she's like, Emilico, because it's different. It's cute.
And then, like, Shirley, the one who didn't make it out of the debut, hers was named Rum. That was because, what was it? Shirley didn't have her own personality.
Yeah.
And she said to name her living doll, so the living doll just named it.
Well, the little pinky that could talk, her little finger.
Mm-hmm. How they each interact with each other is also interesting, because some of them it's more like friends, and then some of them it is more like a slave-master relationship.
Like Rosemary and Mary Rose didn't seem to be very good friends. Or was it the other one?
No, it's the other one, because a lot of the stuff that Mary Rose did was for Rosemary.
Yeah, because the other girl had, like, this notebook or something, and she was writing in it, and, like, her shadow was, like, hitting her or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was in the first season.
Her
I can't remember who
mean.
It was. But, yeah, the one shadow that was, like, whipping the one living doll.
She would, like... Because I remember they were talking to Kate and Emilico, because Emilico wasn't really doing the job. Like, she was just kind of standing next to her and wasn't, like, you know, moving with her like she was. And she just, like, kept insulting her. And then, like, Emilico felt really sad because she thought that, like, the living doll felt that way of her, too.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now, just kind of throw it out here, because I wouldn't consider this a spoiler because it's the whole premise of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But what are living dolls?
Humans.
Yep. They're just brainwashed humans.
Yeah, they're
because
just...
they realize that every so often they go down to the town and give them like a thing of coal, and then they let them pretty much choose from their children, and they go up there and become...
And they're like, you're getting to be, like, so royal now. It's going to be so great. Your life's going to be amazing. Dude really thought.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that once they, while they're kids, it's like a master-slave type situation.
Mm-hmm.
But after so long and they unify with each other, then at that point, it's like the shadow just takes over the doll's body and can change, like, pretty much just...
Use the face.
Mm-hmm.
But I just find it weird because, like, the shadows were just, like, those ball people that are running around, the little... Sprite-looking things.
Yeah.
Those were actually just them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, it was just them, and, like, they looked and, like, studied the doll, and then turned into it, and then became the shadow.
Like I said when I was talking to you earlier, they kind of try to do the whole, oh, they're humans as kind of like a reveal thing.
But when she bleeds,
yeah, when it's like they're bleeding. And there was also a bunch of other things that led up to it where I'm all like, I'm pretty sure these are just like humans.
the coffee kind of
Yeah.
was kind of like, okay, now they're trying to brainwash them more.
Yeah, in their eyes. That was kind of cool though. When they drink the coffee in their eyes, it just looks like little like
Sit balls.
yeah, soot balls instead of pupils. And then they just pump them full of water until they.
Oh yeah, because I remember Kate went through Emilica's notebook from that time that Mary Rose, that little soot monster, had got inside of her, and they just like pumped her mouth full of water
Mm-hmm.
because she made her sit there
Because
and
they
drink
have
water.
soot sickness or whatever.
Yeah. They made her drink water until she was like throwing it up.
I mean, it hits on a lot of like class and royalty type stuff as well.
It's tea time.
Because even the other characters that aren't like the main characters and stuff, though, like Edward, how he's trying to get to the third level, like they're all trying to like climb in the society of the shadows
Yeah.
and get more power and
Isn't that
control
kind of
more
what
things.
everybody in real life is trying to do anyways?
Somewhat. I mean, some people are happy where they're at.
Well, I mean, like money-wise, and like getting money and all that stuff, you know? Ranting in their jobs.
Less work, more pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the debut, though, was very Hunger Games-esque or like some kind of, I mean, it was a elaborate labyrinth.
And since it was a labyrinth, they couldn't just run their hand along the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not like a normal maze where it's like, oh, just walk through the maze, you know? Like running your hand along the right wall to get to the other end. Since it's a labyrinth and it starts in the middle, you can't really do that.
That was a pretty funny part, though, where Edward had set it up to where it's like, well, if she didn't get the keys from the very beginning, there's no way she could
And then
win.
she starts cutting through the thorns.
She cuts through the thorns, and then they're like, well, they can't get it back in time, and then they just ride the river.
Yeah.
They're in that
Well,
cart.
it wasn't like a, I wouldn't say, it was like a
It was-
aqueduct. It was an
yeah,
aqueduct.
it was a spillway into the house. Like it was a little waterway that
Yeah.
fed into the house, and but they
Oh,
used
the
the
wood
flower
floats?
cart.
The oranges.
Let me see here. Just thinking. I mean, outside of the shadows, like, what do you think they are actually? Like, I mean, I know they're just soot, and
But
they
how's
say
this-
shadows,
yeah.
but where did they all come from? Like, what's their origin?
Honestly,
I mean, because I don't know if they've actually ever brought that up, or at
They
least, I mean, I know they
didn't.
didn't in the anime. I just didn't know if in the manga if
I
they ever
didn't-
actually
I didn't
do.
read.
So,
I didn't read any of it. I just found it
mhm.
on like Hulu or Crunchyroll and started watching, and I was like, this is good. Yeah, it was Crunchyroll because I was watching it in the car. But honestly, I don't know. It's too
Mhm.
difficult to think about.
They have the little sprite things that run around, and then they look at the dolls, and then they start mimicking them, and then they eventually take over their body.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, there's also the scorches,
Oh,
those little like creature things that they're the ones that Mary Rose can control.
oh,
Like she has the ability to control scorches, but she can also absorb since she doesn't have much soot. So do you think Kate is like going to be some kind of like revolutionary person to like bring down the house?
yeah. They're all gonna band together. It's gonna be her. I feel like Lou and Louise would be kind of like, you know, because like there's kind of like that, and I feel like it would be Ricky, Patrick, Sean and John would kind of just follow them because kind of John already kind of follows Kate, so
Mhm.
you know, I ship.
What do you think about Barbara and Barbie? What do you think? You think they would actually? You think they'd come around? Because
They'd
I
be
feel
that-
like kind of like the ones that they would be a late like went over.
I feel like they would. They had a whole backstory, didn't they? Yeah. I feel like they would kind of be like that one grumpy character at the end of every Disney musical, and they randomly start dancing, you know. But they're like, it's not fun or anything, you know. They dance anyways.
But people have likened this show to Black Butler, which have
Black
you watched
Butler.
any? Black-
Nope. But I came across a book at Half Price Books and did not get it. They
What
said
did it say? More like promise, like
it said it acted similar to like Promised Neverland, but the style, like the way it kind of was, you know, was more like Black Butler.
I haven't watched either of those, but there is a funny TikTok your mom showed me, and it was all like talking to your sister about your nieces and nephews watching anime. It's like, oh, they're watching anime? Which ones? Peter Pan. What? What are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, oh, wait, no, it's not Peter Pan, but it's something like Peter Pan. Oh, Neverland. And it was all like, he's like, you mean The Promise Neverland? And like, he's like freaking out, like all the anime, like his young nieces and nephews were watching that his his sister had no idea what it was about or anything, and they were all like mature adult, like violent ones.
Mr. Neal saw my book flipped over on my desk today with the cover side down, showing the rating on the back, because it was Attack on Titan, and he's all like, "Are you allowed to be reading this?" I was like, "Yup." So, don't let anyone else read it. I'm like, I would never. It's my book. Well, it's a library, but still.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess he could. That school doesn't really. I don't feel like they're the ones that would like confiscate stuff.
No, but we had our backpacks under our desks because we have snack earlier in the morning, and being lazy, me and a lot of the other girls don't feel like getting up because all of our backpacks have to be in the room now. So like they were all under this big table, and since they're all under there, everyone crowds around it. So I just kind of stuck mine under my desk, and Mission was like, "You can't put it over there." It's like, dude, I don't bring a phone to school. I'm not gonna be like texting anyone. I don't bring toys in my backpack. Like, what am I gonna do with a pink bag under my desk? Is it distracting my feet?
Yeah, which is kind of weird considering that like when we were in school, like we had our cubbies in like elementary and stuff, but starting really, I would say fourth, or no, fifth is when we actually started swapping classes, like moving to different ones, and like we had to carry our backpack with us the whole time. So, but we also didn't have cell phones back then. So, we had cell phones, but no one had a cell phone.
Yeah.
Or no fifth grader had a cell phone.
Bro, second graders have them. I don't get it.
But what do you feel like? How do you like the aesthetic of it on how it looks like? Where it's kind of like Downton Abbey, almost like Victorian style.
I like kind of like the style of it, how it's got like like the royalty in it, but I also like kind of like the creepy style. I don't know, I just like creepy, and it's like very like pinkies up when drinking tea. It's like I like that.
Yeah, and one thing I read about it is they suggested it. How they described it was Downton Abbey by way of Coraline.
Yeah. I liked the talking in third person for the shadows. Like Amelia Coe is like, but Kate wouldn't like that. But honestly, I might, and she's talking like I, and then all the shadows are like, Master John would not approve of this.
Yeah, you bring up a big point on that is how like all the shadows talk in third person.
Yeah, I feel like it might just be because I don't know, because when you hear like humans talking to each other, they don't refer to other people as I. They refer to other people as like by their name or you. So I feel like since the little sprite things were copying off of the dolls, that might be why they call themselves Kate instead of me.
Yeah, since they refer to themselves as...
Since they're kind of like a mirrored version.
Yeah, like what is it? John, does he call it the John punch? It's not a power punch. I think he calls it, but I have the John punch.
Yeah, I don't remember what he calls it.
Because he punched that big boulder during the debut and destroyed it. But yeah, because there's third person, like what's weird is there's a book called Then We Came to the End, and it's actually written in third person omnipotent or third person, how is the term used? It's like a group. So instead of saying, third person like Blake likes this or whatever, it's all we or our. Like talking is almost like it's a group, but that means everyone talks like that. So you never really understand which one person it is.
Gotta go.
It's super interesting, but it's also like
Confusing.
yeah. But with all the cool costumes and everything, would you ever cosplay?
Yeah, I'd choose Kate. I just don't feel like I look good in like lighter colors like blue.
Yeah, you could get you could get the whole black bodysuit like the green guy costume, but you can get them in
Yeah.
different colors. You just get the black one and
How would I eat?
well, you'd have to take it off. I mean, you wouldn't be able to.
How do you take it off? Like, is there like a hole in the back or like
Yeah, it's usually like a zipper in the back, but
zipper in the front and just like reach through the basket and eat?
speaking of cosplay, how's the Attack on Titan one coming along?
Well, I mean, of course you know, but poked my finger too many times trying to sew that last night. Probably because I was trying to also watch the regular show. Good cartoon.
Yeah.
We're almost done with the top, I believe, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to re-sew the jacket because we didn't really think about like the straps under it, and I'm also kind of growing quickly. We didn't think about that either, so it's a bit tight.
Yeah, but like I said, with the fabric we get, because I mean we got that brown, but if we get more of a canvas type, it actually might
stick better.
Well, it might be a little bit easier to sew as well,
because it won't be like yeah.
And if we do that, and then with the patterns and stuff, they'll stick on a little bit better, and with it being a little bit thicker, it might feel a little better quality too. Because one thing I noticed when you have the hood on and the cape with it, like since it is a little bit smaller, like the cape just completely covers and you can't see the jacket. So if I feel like if it is a little bit bigger, it'll go together with the hood a little bit better.
Like even though the jacket is supposed to have a bit of space in the middle because it's not meant to be closed, I feel like it's kind of like there's a pretty big gap in the middle. So I feel like that might get fixed.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely close better. So
I was reading this.
So out of what would you score?
Well, on the internet, it's rated at 8.5. I would give it like a 9.5. Like, it's not like the best anime, but I really, really, really did enjoy it.
I mean, I'd give it a 5 or a 6, just because it took too long to get into. And even then, it's like I don't feel like it made up for what I had to go through.
Guess what?
What?
I'm a child with a shorter attention span than you.
Yeah, so it shouldn't take 6 episodes for it to get good. Like
6
literally
episodes. Okay, it was like each episode. Like
I mean, it literally I didn't understand completely what was going on or even really care what was going on until the debut.
The debut had so many episodes for me.
Would you, I mean, for someone who's just starting out in anime, would you recommend that as like an entry one, or do you feel like this is more of a
I feel like if you started out
veteran.
I feel like if you started out with like a really big fancy anime to begin with, like let's say you watched like Sailor Moon or like One Piece or something, like you watched like a big one like Naruto. If you were to try to watch this, you'd fall asleep because you need to watch slower animes. Because I mean, like I started off with Inuyasha, so I can't be talking, but I feel like some people just won't enjoy it, and you're one of those people, Dad.
Yeah. Well, and I also feel like it is an anime for people who like anime. Like if it's one of those, I'm like, there are other animes that I like better. There's other shows that aren't anime that that are kind of along the same vein as something similar to this that are better. But if you're, a through and through hardcore anime fan, you'll enjoy it.
But if you're like just like kind of like anime is okay and I just need to find one to watch, it's not something you should watch. Watch Inuyasha, guys.
Yeah,
I haven't done that one yet.
Oh yeah, we haven't done Inuyasha, have we?
We have not. Did we do? Yeah, we did Haikyuu. I know. I keep asking myself.
And like I said, some of these we can go back over too because
I'm almost done with AOT. So by the end of this week, I'll have finished these 2, and then I'll go to the library at the end of this week and get the other 2, which I believe are the last. So I believe I will be done by the time it's my turn.
All right.
So I think I want to do AOT.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're
do
going.
Ghost Stories.
Yeah, that's a little too. Mom pointed out a big thing. It's like, yeah, we can talk. I mean, the whole violence stuff, that's questionable, but some
The
of the
dub,
other mature stuff that it talks about is we don't want people to point and be like, well, they heard about it on your podcast.
yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with them being like, oh, they watched Chainsaw Man. Well, that's pretty violent. Why are you letting them watch something called Chainsaw Man? But when it's like, oh, it's ghost stories and we didn't know what it was about and we let them watch it. And then because they heard about it on here, then be like, oh, yeah, there's some stuff in there.
yeah, I feel like the dub kind of changed why people
I mean,
watch
even in the
it.
same sense, I'm sure mom probably wouldn't be super excited. And also, I know there are like probably 15-20% of the jokes in there you're not even old enough to get.
I know I've asked you who these people were. I came in, I'm like, who's this?
Yeah, there was several of them. I'm like, there's no way Dexy knows that reference.
I know I don't know a lot of them, but it's just funny. Like, oh, references. Like the part when she turns on the power and goes, I've got the power. That's like near the end.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break real quick, and then we're going to come back, and I've got a game called Doll, Shadow, or Faker. And what it is, I'm going to give Dexy a name, and she's going to have to tell me whether it's a shadow from Shadow's house, one of the dolls, or just a made-up name. And
Is this
she
one
can
hard?
get bonus questions if she can tell me who these people are as well.
Like what their role is, or like who they are.
I mean, just kind of like their role in the show.
Mhm.
So, all right. Well, we'll be right back.
Hey, fellow anime fans, it's Dexy. If you're loving Weeb and a Half and want to help support the show, you should totally check out our Patreon. Not only will you be helping us keep the podcast going, but you'll also get some awesome perks like bonus episodes, access to the Discord, and even a shout out in an episode. Basically, you'll get more anime talk, more laughs, and maybe even more of Dad's terrible takes. Trust me, it's worth it. So if you want to join our little anime family and get some exclusive goodies, head over to patreon.com/weebandahalf and check it out. Thanks for the support, and as always, stay weeby.
All right, we're back, and it's quiz time. So we're just going to jump into it. And like I said, I'm going to give Dexy a name, and she's going to have to tell me whether it's a shadow, a doll, or a name I just made up.
Extra point if I know who they are.
Yep. Number 1, Oliver.
I've heard that name. If I said that a different anime, was Oliver Blue Lock. I want to say yes, but I don't. I'm gonna go with doll.
Oh, sorry. It's a shadow.
I know.
He's the inventor.
Oh wait, he's that person in the shed.
Yeah, that created the soot collector or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he built it so big he couldn't even get it out.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Number 2, Mia.
Not the basic names. I'm gonna go with no.
She's a doll.
The basic. What? Who is she?
She's one of the dolls in Emiliko's group, and she has a heartbreaking arc with her shadow, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. I know Sarah. I know Sarah. How do their names match? Do
Yeah,
not?
they I don't know.
Sarah, Mia, Kate, Miliko. I mean, what else?
All right, number 3, Jericho.
That doesn't sound like a name. I mean, is Miliko really a name either? I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, it's fake.
I'm like Jericho,
But
Miliko.
there's a place called Jericho because it's a whole biblical thing, the walls of Jericho.
Yeah, but I mean, like with like Miliko, Jericho. I'm like, sounds a bit made up.
Sarah.
Yeah, that's a shadow. It's Mia's shadow. Haha.
Yep. And it's her cold and status obsessed shadow master.
Yes, he's very sad.
Lulu.
Oh, Lululemon. Is that not a person?
Nope. It is fake.
I know it. I'm like Lulu, and I'm like Louise, Lou. Nah, there can't be a Lulu.
Gerald.
Name. Doll?
Nope, it's fake too.
Okay. I'm like, okay. From what I remember from usually how it goes, fake, real, or something. I'm like, okay, think about the order. Is that it?
Nope. We got
Oh,
3 more or 4
Okay.
more here.
Oh, dear.
But some of them are easy. Barbara.
Barbara is the shadow, and her doll is Barbie.
And she's the leader of the Star Bearers.
She is the leader of Star Bears, and so Barbie's always such a suck up.
Rosemary.
Rosemary is. Wait, wait.
Is it the doll or is it the shadow?
Is it the doll?
It is the doll.
Okay, I was
Mary
like,
Rose is the shadow.
yeah, because I remember it's like she called her like Rosie at one point, and I was like, Rosie. So yeah, because at one point she was like, "Hey, Rosie," because Mary Rose. I don't remember her ever calling her Mary or for anything.
Anthony.
Is that one fake?
Nope.
Okay, who is it? Who is it?
He's a shadow, kinda.
Kinda.
He's the last person that Kate talks to. He's the one in the robe at the very, very end, and he actually, like, spoiler heavy character. He exists outside of the normal doll shadow structure.
What's that mean?
He's a human and a shadow, but he doesn't, like, he's kind of like
He knows.
both.
Okay.
Like, it's one person, but it's still the two people.
So
like,
does he have like both memories and like both personalities?
I think so.
Bro, twice.
But he's
Is
literally.
there one more right there?
Yep.
I can't read it.
But yeah, he was going to be the big arc in season 3 that they
never made.
Yep. So I guess maybe he's in the manga.
Probably.
I just don't know how long the manga went either. I'm just kind of
Neither
curious
do
how
I.
maybe the manga stopped and maybe that's why season 3 stopped. I don't know. Guess that's something we could look up real quick.
Lost funding.
But Nelly.
Nelly.
I'm going down, baby. You're straight in the range.
Move your hand. I'm just gonna put my glasses on. Shadow or fake? I don't know. Shadow
Which
doll,
one?
fake, shadow doll, fake, shadow doll, fake. Nelly, you said?
Nelly.
Is it a guy or a girl?
Could be.
What does could be mean? Is it fake?
It is fake.
Okay, I was like, because Nelly, there's a lot of names that could be like, Nelly. Like there could be Noelle, Nelson,
Mm-hmm.
Neil. I don't know, like those names would match. First thing I do is I try to think of names that match, or if that name sounds awfully like another character, like Lulu would be like Lou, and Louise, and Jericho. It's like, Amelie Co, Jericho. So yeah. How many did I get right?
Like 7 because.
How many were there?
10.
Oh dear.
So you would have made like a 70. So you passed.
I passed. Fails at like what, 50, 60?
60 usually.
Yeah.
Or anything below a 70 actually. But
Oh, I just barely passed.
I was just looking at the manga, and apparently.
Oh, that's what you were searching.
English version, there's only 8
What?
volumes.
Excuse me?
The manga was licensed for English release in North America by Yen Press, with the first volume released on June 21st of 2022. As of January 21st, 2025, 8 volumes have been released. But total there's 19, but I'm guessing most of it was in Japanese.
Nah, bro. Japanese. I need to catch up my Duolingo then. Wait, I deleted it. I have to re-download that.
Just also as a little update too, here in Texas, SB 20 did pass the Senate. So now it's just waiting for old Ironsides to
don't sign it.
To sign it into law, and
Goodbye,
don't know.
My Hero Academia.
I mean, we're not sure how anything's going to work because normally what would happen with certain websites or things where Texas is like, oh, well, you have to do this, and it causes the people who run the website or the streaming service more trouble than it's worth. What they do is they just block IPs from Texas. So that means you have to have a VPN in order to connect to it if you're in Texas. However, Crunchyroll could do that. But the problem with that is, what is Hulu going to do? What is
Netflix? Netflix
everything
has
else that has
anime. Disney has lots of anime.
Yeah. Well, it's not like they're just going after anime. It's certain anime, but it's like they're not going to pull My Hero Academia off of such and such because Texas can't have it.
But my thing is, like, indecency could also mean violence too, though, right?
Yes,
Because that's
I mean, well,
indecent for children.
well,
I
the
guess.
whole big thing is it's usually more sexualized stuff. However, the verbiage is very open to interpretation, so it can be almost whatever they want to put on. So, but yeah, like I said, if Crunchyroll's like, well, we're not going to go through and have a whole section or just like a whole thing for people to Texas to connect and watch compared to, because that's extra work for them, extra stuff, then more than likely they're just going to block.
Or they might have to raise the
Texas.
prices, bro.
But so you're just going to have to invest in a VPN. So
Are
and
those
don't.
illegal?
No, they're perfectly legal to have. I'm just saying too, it's all like not endorsed by them in any way, but Proton VPN is what I've always used, and it works great. So,
Is that like the Proton.me thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same company. It's just that they have all the different things, and the VPN is one of them. That since I buy the big package,
Yeah.
my subscription.
If you get the big
includes
package, does it come with a pair of socks and a cup?
Possibly. I wish they did.
It's just like a Proton cup, or it's like a map or something on it,
But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or hot takes, you can hit us up at our email at
weebandahafpodcast@gmail.com.
We're still working on the website. I say working on it. It's there. We have a domain name. We have a WordPress. We have nothing on it. So,
Domain expansion.
Yeah.
Weep and a half.
And also like and subscribe, comment, whatever on
We
Spotify,
sound like YouTubers.
Apple. And that's what we'd like. And also we have our Patreon at patreon.com/weebandahaf.
I have an email now too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Dexy@weebandahafpodcast.com. Oh,
No,
Gmail. Gmail, right?
Well, no, it's just Dexy@weebandahaf.com. Yeah, because that's our domain is weebandahaf.com. What you got? Well, also before we do that, though, you mentioned there was a show that they're doing a live action for that you were kind of excited about.
I believe this is the name. It's kind of long, if you ask me. Kakegurui, long black hair, red suit. That's her. She's not the main character. Bet you don't know the main character's name if you watch it though, because no one pays attention to him. Yeah. So the One Piece kind of hit off and got really popular. It's kind of breaking Netflix's curse of horrible Netflix anime adaptations that are live action. They kind
Like
of
Cowboy
sucked.
Bebop?
Bro, the Dragon Ball. I don't know.
Well, Dragon
That
Ball.
wasn't Netflix, but
That wasn't Netflix. That was, I
Bro.
meant, you haven't seen Speed Racer. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have not seen Speed
they had
Racer.
not gotten good ones. Like they had kind of sucked, and so since they broke the curse, like, hey, let's do Kakegurui, and so now they're gonna do that. Hanukkah would be cooler, but whatever.
Yeah, no, there's some that I've always liked. Like, yeah, I mean,
Demon Slayer would be sick though.
You think, but like, sometimes when they, even in Japan, when they do live action of like, I meant Attack on Titan.
Bro,
it wasn't horrible, but like if you didn't pay attention, I mean, if you didn't know the anime or the manga, it was a perfectly fine show.
There were some parts that were kind of random and didn't make sense because they made it before the manga ended, meaning they didn't know how everything kind of turned out, and it was before like so much had happened. Like,
but like the Death Note movies were horrible, and those were years and years ago.
Would you consider the Avatar one to have been good? Like, I thought it was pretty good, if you ask me. Like, it wasn't.
I never watched
bad.
the Avatar one, like the Netflix Avatar one, or the one that was done by M. Night Shyamalan.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, the one that was Netflix.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't watch that one either.
Earth, Wind, Fire, Air. Is that considered an anime, or is that just like a cartoon? Because it was Nickelodeon.
I mean, it was still an anime.
Yeah, it was based on anime, I would say so.
So, all right. You gonna wrap it up or you want me to?
I'm gonna.
Okay.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Weeb and a Half. Thanks for hanging out with us. And remember, whether you're hardcore weeb or just here for the fun, we're all family. Catch you next time.
Yep, and until next time, stay out of the shadows or at least bring them up. I'm Blake.
And I'm Dexy.
And stay weeby.